Welcome, friends, on the session on Azure Logic Apps. Let me start by sharing my documentation, which I have prepared for this session specifically. So, in this session, we'll be understanding what exactly is Logic App, where the applications of Logic App we are going to use from this very course, and why it is required there. So, Logic App, as the name indicates, it works on logic and kind of an application that is used to create or to overcome the redundant task which we usually do in our day-to-day job, right? So we will be understanding the applications of logic app in the context of Microsoft Sentinel. And Microsoft Sentinel, as we may all know, it is SIM and SOAR capability from Microsoft. SIM and SOAR capability from Microsoft. SIM stands for Security Information and Event Management, and SOAR stands for Security Orchestrations and Automated Response. This very SOAR part is the part where the logic app applications are there, right? So that is the key understanding which we need to build first, that what is logic app and where we are using and why we are using with Sentinel. Sim, I have a separate course in Udemy as well. I have covered hands-on session. It's a complete hands-on course in Udemy. I will indicate that you have an understanding on Sim part if you need, because this course will be built on top of Sentinel. It's not, we are not covering Sentinel here, but we'll cover the orchestration and automated response part of Sentinel via logic apps. So let's understand what is a logic app, right? So logic app is nothing but it's a app, logic app cloud service that help us to schedule, automate, and orchestrate. So as these three names were there in the SOAR part as well. So automation, orchestration, and scheduling of the business processes, workflows when you need to integrate apps, data, and systems, right? So that is the core. Now, some examples will help you understand it better. If you want to send an email for the event which happened, like some VM got deleted or some clear logs happen in some VM. So in that scenario, we can always uh, use this feature of logic app. Okay, we can generate a message in our teams for the event which got generated, so this will help the end users to get an update via mail or over a teams chat. So rather they don't need to open a portal, go to the respective service, check what happened, and that's a manual step. This is helping them to reduce the gap between the two actions and respond faster. That is one of the catch here. We can block malicious IP and conditional access policy. We can block malicious IP in firewall, or we can move the files between an Azure storage account. So that is the stuff. Let me give you a walkthrough on the portal. How does it look? So that you will get some feel of it. So this is my resource group. So prior to that, let me go to this diagram, which will help you understand things better. We have a base infrastructure. Mostly we have Azure Cloud, right? We have Azure Cloud Infra, and we have a resource group there. Under the resource group, we have Log Entities Workspace. We have Microsoft Sentinel, which where we have logic apps. So you need to understand the fact that under resource group we create a log analytics workspace, and on that log analytics workspace we onboard our Sentinel. So Sentinel is a cloud-based SIM solution, and we need to understand what automation can be done and how it can be done. So how part will be addressed through logic app, and what depends is the use case. So on this logic app can have integrations from different sources like VNet, possibly a VNet, maybe a VNet, maybe a firewall, Azure firewall, and we can either go to a Teams group, right, or we can access conditional access policy from here. Anything can be done here. So these are all the integration points, okay, as per the use case we are having in hand. So this is the broad understanding of the infra we are having, right? So as I told, we have a resource group. Okay, let me show you something here. Maybe it will help you out here. So these are all the resource groups. So under this, I created one resource group as center resource group, right? And then under that, under configurations, okay, this is our central resource group actually, and we have Sentinel as a service here. Let me show you under this group. So let me go to Sentinel directly. This is Microsoft Sentinel, part of my central resource group only. So I'll open this up, and if we check here, we under configurations we have automation here, right? And automation, as I told you, so the flow is like this, as I indicated. We have resource group, we have Sentinel, log at his workplace. If you want to say, I can show you just a log at his place where Sentinel is getting onboarded. So Sentinel is currently using this workspace, Sentinel log at his workplace. So if you want to see it, you can see it by duplicating this tab here. Let me search log analytics, log analytics, workspace, log analytics, workspace. So this is our workspace. If you notice this name, on this only we have our workspace or Sentinel onboarded too. This is the one, right? And these are all the active playbooks which are enabled, have consumption based model under this resource group, and this is our playbook templates. So a template is something which we can use directly, or we can alter it as per our use case, or we can create our own automation rule or playbook with incident trigger alert. We know we have in Sentinel, we have alerts grouped together to create an incident. So based on incident, if playbook should be triggered, we can configure that way, or if for every individual alert should be configured, we can configure that way. We can start with the blank playbook as well, right? That these are the options which it offers. So that's a brief on the logic app side. And then we have portal walkthrough. I've shown you how it works. It starts with an workflow which requires a trigger to happen, which fires when a specific event happens. So each time when the trigger fires, the logic app engine creates a logic app instance that runs the action in the workflow. So if I open some one workbook for you, maybe this one. So there's a trigger. So if I go to my logic app designer, here if I see this is our these are all actions. Okay, this is sentinel incident. Then we have initialization of a plain array. We have a name location id. These are all different services. So for each ip I'm running some loop. So the and I can add action if I want to have. So these are the ways. So this is a workflow. This get triggers when some sentinel incident is occurring, like that. We can either set a recurrence, like recur in every week or weekly schedule, like that also we can achieve. So that's around it. Logic app deploy and run in the cloud on Azure. Then why use logic app? We want to automate redundant operations which consume time. We can save our time to respond to it rather than just identifying whether something happened or not. If something happens, we can create a logic app to reach it to via mail or Teams chat. We can write it once. That is one of the major benefit. We have to write it once and we can reutilize many times. And it's very easy to amend. We can add an action as per our requirement. We can customize an existing template. We can create our own template. These are the things. We can easily establish automated connectivity between multiple devices. So as we see, there are all the services we can establish communication between to achieve one goal. So these are all the terminologies which we discussed throughout indirectly in the previous research document only. So I hope this brief is quite good and sets a stage for us to proceed further on the hands-on part. How we'll try to create some playbooks so that it will help you out to understand things better. Uh, Thank you for now. We'll stay tuned for the next session.